Quick joke for you. So, what have airline pilots, catwalk models and investors all got in common? The answer's simple. They all like a nice long runway. And if you're going to get involved in the game of building a startup, you really need to think about how you're going to survive. And that's what a runway is. How long can you survive before you run out of money? Now, in the old world where technology was really expensive and startups were many people in a room, runway tended to refer to all of the burn that was going on. You know, the cost of the office, the cost of all the developers, the cost of all the licenses, all of those things, right? They would stack up. But now, the cost of technology has fallen through the floor and not very many people rent an office anymore. So, Runway has come to focus on one thing, and really one thing alone, and that's your personal burn rate. How much money do you need to survive? To know what you need to survive, you need to first of all understand one inalienable truth, which is that in the first couple of stages of investment, which is pre-seed and seed, no one is going to give you money for your personal living costs. So pre-seed investors, seed investors will not pay founder stipends. So if your idea was that you would take your idea to an investor and say, hey, will you fund building this, but also fund me, you're dead in the water. It doesn't happen. And to put that in perspective, it usually takes about 6 months to hit a pre-seed raise and about 18 months to hit a seed raise. So you've probably got to figure out how you're going to survive for a couple of years without earning any money. And that's a long time to have a drought. To survive those 2 years, you might be lucky enough just to have the savings or be able to call on money from friends and family and fools that will support you during that period of time. And this is a common strategy. You know, I'm going to raise the cost of covering my living costs from not investors, but people that believe in me. Of course, if you then blow the budget, you really do feel like a heel. So it's worth considering that before you get started. So what strategies are there for surviving? Well, the first is an obvious one. Cut costs. You know, cut your living costs right the way down. Certainly you're not going to be able to afford that car you were thinking of buying. You probably won't be able to get a mortgage for about 4 years because you will need to show sustained earnings from company accounts. You know, there is an old saying about founders that they live on ramen, and there's a reason for that. It might seem like a retrograde step, but a lot of founders move back in with their parents. You know, if you really love the thing that you're building, this is almost like part of your friends and family round. Mum, Dad, will you support me for a while? I'm building a startup company. Which of course points to another strategy, marry well. There are a lot of people where they drop to a single income in a household. Whilst one pursues the startup dream, the other one has a good salary and supports the family. It's a workable strategy. That brings us on to a couple of more palatable options. So for instance, the first being hustling, or rather side hustling. I don't mean selling your body for cash. Side hustle has become a very popular phrase. It basically means working on your startup while you're also doing another job. People will always say, oh, well, investors want you to be 100% focused on your startup. They don't, they want you to survive. At idea stage, side hustling is a perfectly legitimate strategy. You know, until you figure out that you've got product market fit, actually having enough money to survive the journey is important. And as I've mentioned, investors will not give it to you. So an investor that sees you running a side hustle, doing your startup off the side of the desk while you do your job, is going to think that you're smart, not foolish. When you get to Series A, when you're raising real money for the scale-up journey of your startup, for sure they are going to want you to be 100% focused on your startup. But that's much later in your journey. And then we get to my favourite option, which is earn actual money. Make your startup pay from day one. Now maybe you're building a scalable platform where you earn 20p from hundreds of thousands of transactions and you need millions and millions of people to do that. Fine, build that model, but in the interim consult on the same subject. Are you building a recruitment platform? Well, go out and be an actual recruitment company. It's easy to get people placed in jobs and to take a fee for doing it. Or maybe you're doing something in the B2B realm that focuses on sustainability. Well, consult on the subject of sustainability to earn a living wage whilst you're building your sustainability platform up. If you can get people to pay you consultancy money or revenue for recruitment, one of those things which you can do physically without building a platform, and build your platform at the same time, the two things can actually feed each other. You're learning from your customers whilst you're developing your idea. It's a great strategy. So earn early and feed those learnings into your startup. And I think this is the best way to survive those first 2 years. So there you go, the unpalatable truth of Runway. You're going to need to survive for a couple of years without any kind of income. You're not going to be able to buy fancy things. You might have to go and live with your parents. You're certainly going to have to cut back if you're living off your savings. And, you know, if you are capable of doing so, either make money through a side hustle or make your startup pay early. This way, we can figure out if the thing that we really want to do works. Good luck. If you want to know more, you can always write to us at hello@millionlabs.co.uk or go to our website millionlabs.co.uk. We will get back to you because we're nice.